Frankenberry, Count Chocula, Blueberry, and all them, they added a new cereal.
No.
I think I saw like they added something.
Actually, 2 new cereals.
Well, they got rid of Yummy Mummy.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Yummy Mummy in like forever.
I know.
And then they had the wolf.
Yeah, they had the werewolf.
I just remember the big 3.
No, there was like...
There was 4.
They went with the
Before the
Universal
80s.
Monsters, and then all of a sudden they just started dropping till all year long you could get Count Chocula, but no Frankenberry.
No
And the only way you
blueberry.
could get Blueberry is if you went to like military bases. Because that's how my mother used to get Blueberry over at Fort Monmouth.
It was weird the way that they had that set up, where it was like you only got certain cereals from certain locations.
Yeah.
I saw Blueberry and Frankenberry now up at Shop Wrong.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You're going to find them now, especially because...
Yeah, it's Halloween season.
Yeah, which it's wonderful that we're in Halloween season. I love it.
Target usually had it out. I always seen that when I stop in there. I'd pick it up.
Yeah. You sure you'd pick it up, or would you send your wife to go pick it up?
Oh, no, I go pick it up.
Oh, okay. Just got to make sure.
I don't want her having it.
She likes the Howard Wolowitz Fruit Loops.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, anyway, welcome everyone to the Dragoon's Lair podcast. I am Daniel the Dragon, the Blue Dragoon himself. With me once again is King Hamster Pellet himself, Mike Schiavo.
What is shaking, people?
And returning to us this week is the family man himself, James Haynes.
Hello, everybody.
That's right. So the core group is back. We want to thank Mike Quinn for being here last episode. He was a trip. Great to have him on the show. He's definitely welcome back. But I'm definitely going to have to put some kind of restraint on him.
Yeah, good luck.
I let him go a little too much even on that one.
I was sitting back and watching. Yeah, good luck with this one.
Yeah, even I couldn't control
He
that
had a
one.
lot of fun because he wasn't in charge of this show. On his show, it's... he wrangles everybody in.
Yeah.
But in this one, he's like, I don't have to do that.
Yeah. So, and I kind of like take my foot off the brakes and let everyone go.
You didn't even have. You weren't even in a car.
Oh yeah,
you
no.
weren't even in a car. You was like, bye. You push it down the hill and let's see how many things we can hit before we hit the bottom.
Yeah, no, but I want to, everybody seems to really be enjoying the Anime NYC footage. I'm glad that we were able to get the interviews. I want to thank everybody who gave us an interview. Thank you again. I appreciate it. The cosplayers were great. The influencers, absolutely amazing. So I want to kick this year off with some good spooky season. So we're going to drag this out for what should be full spooky season. From now until Halloween, we really are in full spooky season. Yeah, because, why not? I think we can all agree that we're all into horror movies a little more than some other stuff.
In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know like my first love was horror and then it kind of branched into anime somewhere. I don't know how that one worked, but
that's how.
Well, there is horror in anime as well. Yeah. So there's been some very interesting ones. But yeah, I want to keep us on a Halloween theme for the most part, so we're in spooky season full blast.
Yeah.
And with that, we want to also go and I want to start things off, though, a little out of the usual, and I want to talk about and do kind of a tribute to James Earl Jones, who we lost in between the recordings of last episode and this one.
Yep.
So it's our opportunity to remember someone who was, I know, not just an important part of my childhood, but I'm sure of both of you as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now I know like one of my all-time favorite, like James Earl Jones, like his appearances was in The Sandlot. Like that to me always stuck out because we were used to like hearing his voice, but not seeing him as much.
This is CNN.
Yeah, the fact that he did that was another amazing thing. Like, his voice was absolutely iconic, and I want to make sure we show the proper respect for the man's career. So, Mike, what is like one of those standout performances from James Earl Jones that like you will always remember?
Field of Dreams.
Okay.
Field of Dreams stands out to me. Even though he wasn't the main focal point, he played an intricate part in the film, and I think he helped make it what it was. I mean, I wouldn't really say it was an ensemble movie, but, aside from, obviously the Star Wars and Sandlot, I think Field of Dreams for me would be a standout for him.
Yeah. What about you, Jimmy?
One thing I'll say is, besides the Star Wars being Luke, I am your father.
Don't do that again. Seriously, don't do that again.
But
You sounded like you were about to burp.
I did too.
I am a
But besides that, The Great White Hope, which was an amazing movie of his.
He was in it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking Great White Hype. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, that was Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, that was Woody Harrelson. That was the Great White Hype was
Damon Wayans.
Damon Wayans.
Yeah.
Wayans.
Yes. I drove a
Bingo
Merlot
Long
Braham.
with him, Billy D. Williams, Richard Pryor, where they're a traveling baseball team, which was really...
Yeah, he really did do a lot of baseball.
A lot of people don't know that him and Harrison Ford are both linked to not only Star Wars, but also to the Jack Ryan franchise, too.
Yeah, he was in the first few...
the first three.
Patriot Games, Present Danger, and Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 with Harrison Ford.
And 1 with Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that a lot of people didn't know was Carrie Fisher had never met James Earl Jones in person until they worked on The Big Bang Theory together.
That was the first time they shaved screens together.
And they said when she first saw him, she went, "Dad."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and they hugged. So it's one of those like touching moments. I know most people are gonna always remember James Earl Jones for the 2 biggest roles that he's done, which would be the voice of Darth Vader, and the same thing can be said for Mufasa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from The Lion King. So I know he gave the permission to, I believe, Disney to be able to do AI for his voice to continue on with doing anything for Darth Vader for Star Wars.
That's cool. There's a little clip that's been going around of James Earl Jones and Robin Williams, where James Earl Jones is he's selling like cameras, and he has a really bad stutter, and Robin Williams is trying to get a camera, but he's like, just give me one. He goes, what do you want? He goes, the Fuji or the Fujinaka, and he was like, well, which one do you prefer? And Robin Williams starts making fun of him, and he looks at him and goes, fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, when you get James Earl Jones to curse,
it's cold. Comedy.
Oh yeah, it's one of those wonderful moments where it's like because you don't expect
it, and you can't really see him cursing. You don't picture him cursing.
No, but I mean he had an iconic career. He is greatly going to be missed.
Overcame, I think he had
a stutter
by reading poetry.
Yeah. So
he taught himself how to read poetry to get over his stutter.
Yeah, and it's always interesting when somebody has to get over stutter, the different ways. And for him, his voice became so iconic after overcoming the stutter. And I think also Samuel L. Jackson had a stutter as well. So, like in his childhood. So, if I'm not mistaken, if I am, please correct me, and you can send me an email at dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com.
That's one.
Yeah. So I didn't want to do a cheap plug in there, but if I am if I am incorrect, I do want people to correct me on that one.
And Mr. Jackson, if you want to come on and correct him, please, we will have a spot for you at the table.
And I am completely comfortable with you calling me a motherfucker.
I think it's expected for you to call everybody at this table a motherfucker, and we'll say thank you.
Yes, we will.
Anyway.
Yeah. So with the career that he had, that James Earl Jones had, it was a phenomenal career, and you would not have assumed that his voice would leave such a lasting legacy. Because when I found out, I was coming home from physical therapy. I get a text message from a friend of mine, just like, James Earl Jones died. And I was like...
I didn't even know he was sick.
I had to look it up just to confirm, because somebody says something like that, you don't believe it immediately. And it's like, that hit just as hard as when Betty White passed away.
Yeah, and
like,
she was this close to 100.
Yeah.
This close.
So it's one of those things where we were losing legends.
I just... Not funny, but I think it's kind of funny how... you get all these people post online, oh, this celebrity died, and then gotcha. But, they did it for a bunch of people, but they never did it for Keith Richards, because we all know Keith Richards is going to outlive everybody on the fucking planet.
That's because Keith Richards is a walking zombie.
And you have to remember, when Keith Richards dies, we're all going to be at the funeral. We're all going to roll him up, and we're going to smoke him. Don't you remember what Leary said? We're going to smoke.
Wait for you to die and smoke your ashes.
Yep.
I mean, he could walk up to a drug dealer. I'm out.
Yeah, no.
I still can't believe he was Johnny Depp's dad.
It made sense.
Yeah, and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Listen,
And
what are you going to do about it? That's
Paul McCartney was his uncle.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now we chose this time around not to do any TV shows for this one because I want to wait so everyone can look forward to what we have to say about Agatha all along for our next episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I watched the first 2 episodes, but Disney and Marvel, I feel like you need to give it more than just 2 episodes to see if they really hit their groove.
I started watching the first episode last night, and I was like, why are they starting it this way?
And it all makes sense, but it's one of those things where I saw some videos, people already, like, because we're not going to spoil anything, because we're going to wait until we actually get a few more episodes in before we discuss it. But people were like, Marvel's back. Are they?
Are they, though?
Just because you get 2 good episodes of a show
Doesn't mean the whole thing is going to be great.
Exactly. So I want to keep a healthy level of skepticism, and we're
open-mindedness.
Yeah, and we will have a real discussion about it next time. Now we're doing 2 movies this week, but we didn't have any like premium live events, and I got to use air quotes for that.
Yeah.
Because are they really premium? And they're not really live. No. So, but we did get some news from WWE that when they move over officially to Netflix, Raw becomes a 2-hour show instead of a 3-hour show.
Thank Christ.
Which I'm thankful for, and I think that's a great move.
So we'll have an hour and a half verse of promos and like 45 minutes of matches.
Well, that's the only thing. They'll be able to do some adjustments because you have to remember they're not going to be beholden to sponsors because it's not going to be the same thing. Although I'm sure plenty of people now have the ad tier for Netflix because of the price jacking up, the same way that Disney Plus jacked up their price.
Yeah.
That's coming up next month. So, of course, in October, they're jacking up the price to $22 essentially because it's 21 and change for Disney Plus with no commercials, Hulu with commercials, and ESPN Plus with commercials, which I've never logged into my ESPN Plus side of that because I don't watch sports like that. So it's you can already see they're jacking up the prices, and the only thing that's truly keeping me in for Netflix, at least for a little bit longer, before I make a decision on if I even want to downgrade to the commercial tier, is the Jake Paul fight.
Yeah.
Because Paul versus Tyson.
Yeah, I don't want... Yeah, that one.
Especially after Tyson did change the rules. So now it's still going to be 8 rounds, 2 minutes apiece, but it's knockout rules. So
He's going to knock his ass out.
Yeah, there is none of this like the referee's decision. It's like they're not going to be scoring this. This is you need to knock the other guy out.
Just like this picture here, I found it.
No one can see it. No one can see it.
Damn.
You're holding the phone, and look how far away you are from a camera.
Mike, you wouldn't mind?
Oh, jeez.
That's a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
You can kind of see it. There we go. There, yep.
That's
there
a
you
lot
go.
better.
Yeah.
You got this and the original.
This is going to be something for the audio. The audio crew is not going to be able to see this until they see the video version of it.
So let's give them a description of it.
Yeah. It's basically Mike Tyson punching
Punch
It's
the Mike Tyson
Logan Paul.
punch
So
out.
the Paul brothers both need to be punched at the same time. Mm-hmm. And since Kevin Owens can't get both of them, at least Mike Tyson's going to get the other one.
Yes.
Because it's been one of those things where it's like we've been waiting for the fall. You can tell that Jake Paul is on steroids. Mm-hmm. There's no way he's jacked up that much at his age where I don't care how consistently you're dieting and exercising and training, you're not getting that big without being on an anabolic push. I think it's a complete misstep for him because he's relying on false strength, and Tyson's got years of experience. And Tyson's decades of experience is going to outweigh any of the enhancements that Paul's going to be making.
The only advantage I see Paul having is his age, where he might be able to last a little bit longer. Because even Tyson in his prime, he was always like, he was just so strong and fast, he would knock him out by the third round. Anything that went beyond that, you could see Tyson getting a little bit slower, getting a little bit more tired.
Yeah, but with the change in the rules and it being a knockout...
Right, but I'm saying...
Paul's got no shot. He knows it. That's why he's a chicken shit.
He might last a little bit longer and might be able to pick his shots a little bit better. If it goes a longer round, Tyson might be a little...
but he's still going to have to take
I know, he has to take him out, but...
And he's not going to be able to take Tyson down. Tyson, with his lower center of gravity, has always been able to outlast these guys and unload with such a powerful fury that there's no way. My money is on Tyson.
No, my money's on Tyson, too.
And I'm not a betting man, but I'm almost willing to put money down on this one because I don't encourage gambling at all. Because even playing the lotto, I'm only willing to put down what I'm willing to lose. And Paul is one of those bets of him losing.
It's a sure thing.
This better not be a Carol Channing joke like what I call him Family Guy.
Yeah, so we have that. We got news, though, about the Nintendo Switch 2. It looks like it's going to have like 2 screens. So, and it's only going to be $400 instead of like the $250 that it is now. So that's not a major increase in price, but they've got a great library of games that you're going to be able to jump right into. Okay. As opposed to Sony, who decided we're going to give you the PlayStation 5 Pro. Their Pro system is digital only. They're raising the price from $500 to $700, and you have to buy the stand to stand it up separately.
I'll build my own fucking stand.
Yeah, it's not even coming with the system where you get a stand with it already with the $500 version of the system.
Unbelievable.
You can take the money, instead of spending that extra $200, take that $200, buy yourself more memory or another external hard drive, and you can plug into the system, and you're just upgraded your full system already. So it's a waste of money, in my opinion, if you're going to spend.
And the only thing that you get extra is more memory on it.
I don't even think you're getting really more memory. It's just everything's going to be digital only. So it's a new design.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even a really that great of a design, especially if they're selling face plates that you can change the sides on. So
like they were doing with the last ones, and even on Xbox.
Oh yeah, Xbox was the face plates. It's they're running out of ideas on what to do, and you can only do but so much graphically. And Sony, it doesn't look like they're putting in a superior graphics card on the Pro. So you're getting a downgraded graphics card rather than something upgraded, and it's going to cost you more money. And I'm a Sony fan. I'm a Sony fanboy. I have from the PlayStation 1, the 2. I still have the original PSP.
Yep.
I got the 3, the 4, and I have a 5. I'm not willing to go and sit there and waste $700 for a system that it's like, you know what? I'm better off just going and getting more memory for it.
Go to Best Buy, get yourself like a $30 1 terabyte external hard drive, and there you go.
Yeah, but you can get the internal one that you can. It's not that difficult to put in for like, and you can order it online. Maybe like a 2 terabyte for around $200. So for the price point, if you've already spent the $500, you can spend $200 more, get more, upgrade the memory. Yeah. And then there is some anime news that I did want to hit because there's been rumors going around, and as of recording, it's still a rumor. They haven't gone and officially said anything. But for the live action One Piece, they're talking about the casting of Joe Manganiello as the villain Crocodile. And Crocodile's an intricate part of the series, and if it's Joe Manganiello, I think he's going to be able to pull it off so well that this is going to be one that it's really going to enhance, because they already did announce earlier on throughout the summer, Katie Sagal will be playing a character in the live action One Piece as well.
This is the one that was on Netflix, correct?
Yes. So this will be season 2.
Good.
Even though they won't go into Alabasta, where Crocodile has full prominence in, but he does have some mention and like little things in the arc leading up to. So this could be like a small part that expands into season 3. So we'll see how this one plays out, along with the fact that we should be getting soon a new version of One Piece that's a little easier animated wise to be from Wit Studios, so you'd be able to watch it and not have to sit through 1,000 episodes. So they're going to cut it down to basically like almost the essentials. Mm-hmm. So anybody who's been sitting there going, I don't want to watch over 1,000 episodes of an anime that's been running since 1998. Yes, and it has been, and I've been watching it since then, so it's one that they'll be able to see. The animation style will be a little different because it's Wit Studios, but they've done a great job with their stuff. So Wit Studios, I'm pretty confident that that's going to be something that's going to work out really well. Mm-hmm. So now AEW though did have a pay-per-view. So what do you got for us, Mike?
All right, I had notes, but I left them at home. I did. I spent all day making meticulous notes, and I said, fuck it. I left it at home because some dipshit had to block my driveway and screwed me all up. Anyway, it was All In was in London, so of course in Chicago they had All Out. I'm not going to do a 0 hour. I'm just going to jump right to the main card. You open up with MJF versus Daniel Garcia. Any other promotion, this would be like towards a main event type thing. AEW said, we're not doing it our way. We're setting the bar really high for the rest of the show. Give these two the opening match, and they take off. They did not disappoint. It started off with MJF kind of getting his ass beat a little bit by Daniel Garcia, but in true heel fashion, MJF resolves to low blow tactics, goes back and forth. Very enjoyable match. MJF towards the end takes advantage of the ref's back being turned, hit the low blow on Garcia, picks up the W. Definitely sets up future feud between these two, because this is not going to be the last time these two fight. Next match was the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks versus Claudio Castagnoli and Yuta Wheeler.
All right.
Started off it didn't start off at a slow pace, but it started off at a steady pace. And, very technical, which was something you're not really expecting from these two teams, but was very good. Okay. As the match went on, the pace picked up. Each man hit and sold huge spots. At one point, Claudio put Matt Jackson in the swing.
Okay.
20 revolutions.
Okay.
I was getting dizzy just watching this.
Who doesn't?
20 revolutions, and then he flings them across the ring. And you were thinking, okay, this is perfect. New champions. Unfortunately, that's not the way it went down. And the EVPs retained the World Tag Team Championships. Third match. Second title defense. Two matches so far in this card so far. It's the aerial assassin Will Ospreay versus the Bastard Pac. Both of these men, high flyers. Gravity have forgotten both of these men. Nancy, you got that?
Yep.
They forgot both of these men. Bodies were flying all over the place. Pac seemed much more polished in his maneuvers. At one point, they were trading moonsaults on each other. It was just like, holy shit. Bodies flying everywhere, limbs going in every which direction. Ospreay retains. Again, not going to be the last time these two men go at it.
Okay.
Very enjoyable match. After that, we had, if I can scroll down to it, we had this Chicago street fight. Willow Nightingale versus Kris Statlander. These two women brought it. And they brought it hardcore. Tables, chairs, chains, light tubes were involved. Blood. They left everything in the ring, including their blood. It was an amazing match. Nightingale, unfortunately, succumbed when Statlander choked her out with the chain. Statlander picked up the victory. Very entertaining match. We had the Continental Championship match. Thank you.
Don't try making fun of me now.
No, I will. We had the Continental Championship match. We had the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada versus freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy versus the Alpha Kanotse Kiteshka. Sorry for screwing your name up. And the Ring of Honor World Champion, Mark Briscoe. You have so many different styles in this match. You have the parkour-esque style of Orange Cassidy. You have the technical abilities of Okada and Takeshita, and then you have whatever the fuck Mark Briscoe decides he wants to use.
Redneck Kung Fu.
Redneck Kung Fu, he's just ridiculous. And the sounds this man makes while in the ring, he is pure comedy gold. Anytime he's on the microphone, he is just comedy gold. This match, for these men of this caliber in the ring at the same time, you don't know what the hell is going to happen. It can go any way. And it was an enjoyable match. Near falls all over the place. At the end, though, freshly squeezed got pinned, and Okada retained the championship. Next one was the TBS title match, the CEO Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida. I was rooting for Shida. I'm not a huge Moné fan. Nothing personal. Just think she can use a little more polishing before they give her such a huge push. Went back and forth. At one point, Shida brought out a kendo stick. And we're like, please, just crack her over the head and get it over with. Just do it. But she thought better of it. And during that lapse of judgment, Moné decided to use this opportunity and pick up the win over Shida. Solid B match. And here we go. Another title match for this evening. We had the American Dragon. This is the last main event. That was the last sanctioned match. We had the American Dragon, the American Dragon, Daniel Bryanson versus the TNT champion, Jack Perry.
Didn't you mean Bryan Danielson?
What did I say?
Daniel
Bryanson.
Whatever.
I got nothing.
Yeah, for a change. Anyway, this wasn't a really technical match. It was more of letting people see Perry can fight at this caliber. Started out, Perry was on the offensive, doing the classic heel move, gets him down, slaps Bryan in the face a few times, cracks him in the back of the head, and then he poses, playing up the, I'm the heel, hate me, look what I'm doing to your boy. At that point, Danielson was like, enough of this shit. He took control of the match. The match went back and forth both ways. Again, this wasn't really anything more than saying, hey, look, at some point down the road, Jack Perry will win heavyweight gold. And it showed everybody what Perry can do. Danielson did a good job putting him over. Danielson picked up the win. Afterwards, Killswitch gets into the ring. Power bombs Danielson. And then the Patriarchy comes down with Christian Cage. And everybody thinks, okay, he's going to cash in his guaranteed title shot. Picks up the title on, basically stealing it and fucking up a really good match. All of a sudden, the Blackpool Combat Club comes out. Patriarchy walks away. Claudio's in the ring. He's holding up Danielson's arm, and Danielson has this big grin on his face like, yeah, my boys are here. And then all of a sudden, Claudio clotheslines the shit out of Danielson, and everyone went, what? Pac was holding back Wheeler Yuta because he was the only one trying to help him. And just because he's John Moxley, takes out a plastic bag and starts to suffocate Bryan Danielson. Why? Because why not? Because
he wanted to refill everyone's minds about when he was Daniel Bryan and he got fired from WWE when he came off of NXT for choking out one of the refs at the side by his tie.
Yeah.
And because he's John Moxley, so we wouldn't expect anything different. So now that sets up the whole thing. Daniel Bryan, where is Wheeler Yuta fitting in and all this? He's going to go with Danielson. He's going to stay with the Blackpool. And then we came to the final match of the evening, the unsanctioned match between Swerve Strickland and Adam Cage. Holy shit. Adam Page, whatever. Anyway.
Can you say the other guy's name again?
Swerve Strickland?
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Swerve. This match, before the cage even came down. Yeah, Prince Nana.
My favorite part of that match half the time.
Yeah, it's just Prince Nana looks like he's having Tourette's. Some kind of seizure.
He's got a stuttering problem.
And he doesn't talk either. He just walks around. Anyway. Okay, so just to recap. Before this match, we've had a home invasion. We've had arson. So now we've had blood galore, staple guns used. And this is going to be a cage match because why the fuck not?
Sure.
Okay, sure. As the cage was being lowered, Swerve was right on top of Hangman, and he's trying to get his head crushed as the cage was coming down. So now they're both in the ring. They're both going at it. Tables are in the ring. At one point, I think it was Swerve goes under the ring, brings out a toolbox. Staple gun, takes a picture of his house that Hangman set on fire and stapled it to Hangman's chest.
I thought you were about to say he stapled it to his face.
No, to his chest.
To his
He
chest.
did it to his chest, and then in return, Hangman picked up the gun and started stapling Swerve. Because
Why
that
not?
is what you do. That is what you do. They bring out a cinder block. A real cinder block. And we're like, he's going to do the Swerve stomp on top of Page on the block. He's going to kill him. He did. It didn't. At one point, Strickland power bombs Page on the cinder block, but he didn't hit him square on it. It just scratches his back, so his back was red and burning the entire night. Towards the end of the match, you know how Swerve has grills in his mouth, right?
Not really.
Well,
But
he has had grills.
ripped them out.
Ripped them out, stomped on them, and then just to make this is how much of a good guy Hangman is. He didn't want Swerve to be in so much pain. Takes out a syringe, shoots him full of Novocaine, and then leaves the needle dangling in his mouth. I'll just leave that there so you can picture it for a few seconds.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm glad we do not show images of
This
these
match,
events.
go back and watch it because I'm not doing it justice. This match was all over the place. Hangman ends up picking up the victory, but again, this is far from over with these two.
No.
The entire match, I would give it a A rating. I don't think there was one match that went meh. Even the Mercedes match, again, I'm not a big fan of hers. I think she can use a little more polishing. But those two women turned in a solid match. I'd give overall grade of an A. Watch it.
And this is, mind you, not only 1 week, but they also had an extra 6 days to put this card together.
Yep.
Unlike last year, where it was 1 week, and it's like, all right, let's get this all together quick.
Now, by the time we get to our next episode, we should have Bad Blood. Am I correct in this one?
I believe so. Well, Bad Blood is
October.
Yeah,
I
next
think
week.
it's
October 5th.
Yeah, so we should have.
And when this episode drops,
Yeah.
that'll be the week of Grand Slam, which I shall be attending.
Okay, so yeah. So we'll have lots more to talk about wrestling-wise then, but now let's get on to one of our two movies. Now, the first movie, I said, you know what, because we're in spooky season, I wanted to start off a little light, not too heavy, and since most places seem to be abandoned anyway, why not go into Amazon Prime and watch Spirit Halloween, the movie? Now, I didn't know what to expect watching this thing because I saw it listed on like the movies as I was scrolling through, and I was like, what the hell? You know what? I think it came out in like, what was it, 2021?
22.
22? So it's a couple years older, but we got Spirit Halloweens popping up all over the place, so
Yeah.
it's pretty appropriate for this time frame. So I saw Christopher Lloyd was in this, and it just It was one of the first things I was like, okay, you got Christopher Lloyd. I got to see this.
We have Christopher Lloyd, Rachel Lee Cook, and Marla Gibbs.
Yep. I was in shock because I'm like, Rachel Lee Cook doesn't look like she's aged that much.
No, she must be doing the same thing that Paul Rudd's doing.
Yeah, she still looks only slightly older than when she was in She's All That.
Yeah.
It's like,
And she's only 44 years old.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
October 4th, 79.
Yeah. She looks great. She doesn't, we haven't seen her in a lot of stuff. So seeing her in this was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
She's still acting and she still can, she didn't have a lot to do in this one, but what she did.
Looks good.
Yeah. It was actually a great performance from her. Christopher Lloyd, we didn't have a lot of him physically in there.
But you can tell he had his hands all over the place.
And plus, you've seen the pictures of his character.
Yeah, so it was...
Just looking up the cast list on here, as I lose it.
Go ahead, as your screen goes black.
My screen's going black. It just, Marissa Reyes, Christopher Lloyd, Rachel Lee Cook, Marla Gibbs, and then at the end, it goes, Mr. Dark.
Yeah.
They give him credit as Mr. Dark.
Yep.
Because why not?
Yeah. So now the entire premise of the movie is kids want to go and do something for Halloween. His buddies are picking on him for wanting to still keep trick or treating.
Yep.
So he comes up with the idea of they found this Spirit Halloween that popped up in the middle of nowhere. It's in a cell phone dead spot.
Which all Halloween spirits are.
Pretty much. Yeah. They don't want you checking prices online, basically. So
no comparative shopping here.
Exactly. So now that you're going and you're watching these kids, they sneak in to Spirit Halloween. They hide in there at night. And
all because where this supposedly popped up is where a death has taken place.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, what was the exterior of that building? That the Spirit Halloween
Toys R Us.
Yeah,
Toys R Us.
exactly. You could still see the Toys R Us colors of the rainbow painted on the outside.
You see Jeffrey.
It was so close to seeing a Jeffrey the giraffe, but you could even see the way that they kind of had the cartoonish style for their exit sign. So I was like, I felt really good about it being Spirit Halloween popping up in now an abandoned Toys R Us.
Which kind of makes sense because they pop up in any abandoned store.
Pretty much, and it's one of those things where you expect it to be.
Well, didn't Spirit Halloween actually pop up in the Toys R Us that was closed on the island?
I think so. Actually, they showed up in Babies R Us behind the Staten Island Mall at one point,
right next to,
before it became Hobby Lobby.
Yep.
Yeah, and then now it's at the Five Below on New York where nothing is.
No, there's one. It's right down the street. It's from the old Barnes and Nobles. What was it? A Dwayne Reed, the pharmacy?
Yes.
Or a Walgreens.
No, you're right. No, Rite Aid.
Rite Aid. Yeah. They took over a Rite Aid.
Why not?
They
take over everything.
Right.
Which is funny because they put it right next to a charter school.
Yeah. That's where
Great.
The old Barnes and Noble became a charter school.
Yeah, which I still think was a terrible idea, but
the new Barnes and Noble sucks.
I missed the 2 floors for Barnes and Nobles, but
it had more of a welcoming feel to it.
Yeah, you felt like you could look and actually walk around there, find stuff, and
read it.
Yeah, as opposed to this one where it's way too bright, and you're not only sitting there with it being too bright, it seems like the cafe for Starbucks is way too big.
It is.
It seems like that encompasses 25% of the store.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So,
anyway.
But no, so the kids decide they're going to go sneak in and spend Halloween locked inside the Spirit Halloween store.
Because that's what you do.
Sure. And they're having a good old time until all of a sudden Ghost comes in and starts wrecking the place and trying to kill them.
They summon the dead.
Yep.
They didn't even really summon the dead. It was
we're here, you're dead.
It's like the one night of the year where he was able to try to get a body. It was weird. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And I love the fact seeing Marla Gibbs. Even at the end where
I thought she was dead.
Oh yeah. You thought, you were looking at her character as the grandmother, and you almost thought she was dead.
Like in real life, I thought she was dead.
Oh no, No, I was sitting there and I was just like, wow, she's still going.
Good
and
for
then
her,
when I
man.
saw the character though, I was like, oh shoot. And then by the time you get to the end of the movie and you see her, it's like, oh, so was she supposed to be the little girl at the beginning with the voodoo ritual that
Yep.
kills the guy? Like, yeah, it was one of those moments. So Jimmy, what did you think of it though?
I was impressed by it very much and everything. Good effects, good storyline. I mean, what cracked me up was you figure you see the kid with the guitar, you're like, great, they're gonna do Kumbaya in the Spirit Halloween. No, he pulls out the Gatling Nerf gun.
That he modified. I love the fact that they did talk about modifying the Nerf guns, and when he does try it, it actually puts a hole in the drywall, because that shows you can.
That's innovative right there.
Yes.
You know, that shows these kids aren't just on TikTok all the time. Good for them.
Where do you think he learned this stuff?
YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yep. So now, Mike, what did you think?
I enjoyed it. I laughed. At times, I felt like it had like that Monster Squad vibe to it a little bit.
Yeah.
Very, very Monster
Well,
Squad-y.
young cast, so
Yeah, and that's what, I just sat back. I didn't know really what was it about until I watched it. And I just sat back. I'm like, this is great.
Yep.
I went in no expectations. I was like, oh shit.
I went in with no expectations because I just stumbled upon it. So
Yeah, so I was like, I was shocked. I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, this is cool.
yeah. So overall, I definitely would recommend this one.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
This is a definite recommend.
And it's not like one of those. It's not
over 2 hours.
It's not
like,
over 2 hours. It came in at the right time, but it's not like one of those horror films that were made for the kids, and it's not overly ridiculous. It's something you can you have like
the whole family can watch this.
Like middle school kids can watch it and get a kick out of it.
Yeah, it's not going to be like to the point where there's not a gore factor.
Yeah, there's no gore factor. It's shock factor more than gore factor.
Yeah. So it's definitely a fun ride.
Yeah.
Give us your opinion for this movie at what's the email address, Dan?
That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. It's all one word. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. So, yeah. So that one I really enjoyed. I recommend that one.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend that as an alternative, like when parents are getting a little tired of their kids watching Hocus Pocus 24/7.
Yes.
Because I love Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Don't get me
Not
wrong.
all the time.
I like both
But-
of them. I don't mind.
I feel like the way that they've decided that they want to run Hocus Pocus on, I think, what is it, like Freeform or whatever the
Well, now
other
it's Disney Plus.
Yeah, but they run it like on their channel, like 24 hours in the day. The same way at Christmas
They do a
time,
Christmas
we get a
story.
Christmas story for 24 hours.
You don't need 24 hours of a Christmas story. I'm sorry.
Especially when it's on two
don't.
channels.
You don't need it.
31 Days of Halloween consists of Hocus Pocus Day 1, Nightmare Before
Pocus.
Christmas,
Hocus
on Day
Pocus,
2,
Hocus Pocus, Hocus
Every other
Pocus,
film is Hocus
Nightmare
Pocus.
Before Christmas, etc.
And but they always go back to Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
It's a great
It's a
movie.
film. It's a
but-
great film. It was
Oh.
funny, but
yeah.
don't play it to death.
And this one, like Spirit Halloween, the movie is definitely a nice little
Yeah, it's a
palate
respite.
cleanser. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
you can take a break, and the parents can enjoy this movie along with
The kids.
So
It's something that's not Hocus Pocus.
yeah,
No.
and it's not. You can't sit there and say, "Oh, it's too scary."
No, it's not.
This really was.
There were a few little jump scares in there.
Yeah.
But nothing like, oh my God, I'm having nightmares.
But you'd have those same jump scares walking into a Spirit Halloween.
Yeah.
And like from some of
The
the
animatronics.
the animatronics and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's definitely one that I highly recommend.
It's a good family Halloween flick.
Yeah. Now the other one was, which we decided we're going to jump over to Netflix, and we were going to watch Tarot. So the Tarot movie, that one was an interesting ride, to say the very least.
Yes.
I was like, the only thing I knew about that movie was we had the guy who played Genki from the Spider-Man movies in there.
Yeah.
So,
Genki?
yeah. Part Peter's best friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, the kid that's basically has the same character that what is it? He's going to, the Hobgoblin.
Yeah, no. For some reason when you said
They
that,
tried to they merged the two characters.
Yeah, no. But when you said that, I don't know why I thought of the Tobey Maguire films.
Yeah, well, he didn't have a best friend in those.
Yeah, I was like, who?
That would be Harry.
Harry. Speaking of, just quick little side note, I found out today. You guys know the film Tombstone.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know who was the first choice to play Doc Holliday?
No, who?
William Dafoe.
Okay.
All right.
Thank God they went with choice B.
And so William Dafoe is a great actor.
He is, but Val Kilmer crushed that role.
Oh, yes.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll be.
But there are certain. Listen,
Huckleberry.
there are so many roles that people had considered William Dafoe for, and that included the original Joker from Batman '89.
Oh, wow.
Like he was one of the choices.
So was Robin Williams.
Yeah.
If I wasn't, or was he up for the Riddler?
Riddler. Well, they wanted him for Riddler, but they used him to convince Jack Nicholson to do the part.
Yeah.
So he wasn't going to do it because he was pissed with Warner Brothers for trying to manipulate him that way. But back to Tara.
Back to Tara.
These movies always kind of throw me a little bit because I'm sorry, when we were in college, we didn't have the kind of money to go and rent this like big like house for like a weekend party or whatever.
We had no Airbnb.
Especially when it's literally a handful of people. Like they were, what was it? The cast was about 6-7 people.
Yeah.
So about 6-7 kids in the, like, they're renting a house. They find a box that has a bunch of like haunted tarot cards. They tell their futures using their zodiac signs with it. And the cards are basically their fortunes coming to kill them. And it's them trying to break the curse before they all die. Now, was it a good movie? I can't really say it was a good movie.
I would call it
It was an okay movie.
a watered down version of The Evil Dead.
I can't even say that. It was okay for what it was.
That was the vibe I got. I'm like, okay, they're in a house. Instead of playing the tape, it's these haunted tarot cards.
But remember, they also left the house. They went back to school, so they were in like their dorms and stuff. So it didn't just stay static in the one location.
Stay in one location because they had a little bit more money than Sam Raimi did at the time. But that was the vibe I was picking up.
Yeah, but it basically was one of those movies where I felt like it was okay, but I felt like the ending was a little screwy. Like you could tell, like they had to go back in after the credits because they left you with a question of how the hell, and then it's like, oh, it's a joke. That ending became a joke, and it wasn't even a good joke. To me, it felt like the old horror movie from the 80s, April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Where it was like nobody really died, and it was all like a practical joke.
Did you notice?
Kind of like an M. Night Shyamalan film.
No, M. Night Shyamalan, most of his movies are just a joke.
Yeah.
Except for Unbreakable, Split, and Glass.
Yeah.
Those are the only three good ones.
I like Signs.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave cups of water around because the one thing in the entire planet that the aliens don't like and are afraid of is water, which the planet is primarily made of.
Hey,
Signs
the aliens were
shit.
smart. No one said the aliens were smart.
No, M. Night Shyamalan just has a problem with water. That's
like
his
Dave.
issue. All of his movies involve water at some point.
The Mist.
There is no twist.
What was the last? No, not twist. I said The Mist.
Yeah, no, The Mist was Stephen King. He wrote The Mist.
But Shyamalan did one called.
He did Devil.
No.
That was in the elevator.
No, he did one with
Paul Giamatti.
Wasn't
Talking about The Happening.
No. He did one with.
That was with Mark Wahlberg.
He did one with what's his name? Thomas Jane. When like all in like.
It
wasn't The Mist?
No, The Mist was not M. Night Shyamalan because it was based off of a short story from Stephen King.
But there was one.
There
with
was the
Thomas
movie
Jane.
The Mist,
Yeah.
but that was not Shyamalan.
Okay.
That was not Shyamalama Ding Dong. Jimmy, I know you're going to keep looking it up, but anyway, while Jimmy looks that up, it basically was. Tarot is one of those movies where it had some good elements. I like the effects, and I like the fact that they did keep everything dark.
Yes.
Because even if you raise the contrast up full blast on your screen, you weren't going to be able to
couldn't
see the
everything.
stuff.
Right.
And they kept a good deal of the horror elements in the dark, which I thought was a brilliant idea. One, to save on the special effects, but also making it seem a little creepier. So
Without a doubt.
Lady in the water.
What?
Lady in the Water.
Lady in the water.
That was the one with they're all
Giamatti.
Giamatti.
Yeah, but what was the one that with Thomas Jane? They all take place in they're all running for a shelter in a food store.
That's The Mist, and that's not Shyamalan.
That's not Shyamalan.
Okay.
This was Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Lady in the
Like I
Water.
said, everything with Shyamalan involves water for the most part. I don't think he's done anything that doesn't have a twist with water. It's a twist.
Eat that twist,
And the twist is you stop making movies.
please, or give me money and I'll make movies.
It in all honesty, it's like M. Night Shyamalan's movies, and just as a little sidebar, he needs to stop trying to focus on a twist and
Just make a movie.
because when he did Split and Glass and Unbreakable, those three in that trilogy works. And yes, water was like the weakness because he would drown, but because he'd choke on the water. But outside of that being his one weakness, because it's like, okay, liquids are his weakness because he chokes, but the rest of him is invincible. So guess what? I'm okay with that. But when your entire premise is everything is, we're trying to twist the village. Oh, they're inside a park sanctuary, and they all seem like they're Amish, and they thought it was another planet.
I thought it took place in like Amish time.
That's what it felt like.
Pilgrim
And,
time.
Yeah, it really wasn't a major twist. His movies he needs to refocus and stop trying to be the guy making things with a twist, because
It doesn't work. He can't twist.
His best movie was his first movie.
no, it wasn't. Because I figured out The Sixth Sense in the first like 15 minutes.
Oh, I agree. No, I agree on that. But that's the only thing that.
And I would
got
have,
him
and I
Oscar
wanted to go
award
see Dudley
nominations.
Do Right before I wanted to see that.
That's true.
I got dragged to the movies by a friend, and they were like, "We're gonna go see The Sixth Sense." I'm like, "I want to go see Dudley Do Right. Let's just watch Dudley Do Right. I know this is gonna be funny. This is not gonna be worth it." I walked out of the movie after seeing it. I'm like, "He's dead. He was dead the whole time. I knew it.
Yeah.
There's no way the ambulance got there that quickly." Back to Tarot, though.
Yeah.
Tarot was one of those movies where it was like, I felt like it was a step up in like our horror watching, from going from Spirit Halloween, the movie, to like just aging up to, but it was a weak, like college level horror movie. The best elements were they kept everything in the dark.
Which worked.
The funny thing that was kept in the light was the closing credits with that funny ass song.
Yeah,
At the end.
the song was good. Like
It was cute.
But at the same time, you're also looking at that movie and you were just like, the little ending surprise, and it being the kid from Spider-Man, you're just like,
So why aren't you dead?
collective moan when he came out.
when he came back though, and once the credits started, and it's like, yeah, my roommate opened up the elevator door. Oh my God. It really
Now
was.
he was the fool.
Yeah. He beat the fool, the clown, which the clown, that card for the fool was a clown that was a contortionist.
Yeah.
So I give him credit though, because it looked cool. Like when you saw it in the dark silhouette further back and the body twisting and turning, like that was a cool element.
Right.
But there was good ideas, good elements, but the movie just kind of fell short.
Yeah.
So Jimmy,
I mean, being a Sony Screen Gems movie, I mean, Screen Gems now being this major horror genre movie company, but it's not Blumhouse. I will tell you that.
No, it's not a Blumhouse.
It's not Blumhouse. No way.
it's not even A23,
24.
24.
No.
There's too many numbers nowadays.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was impressive, but not. I wouldn't watch it again.
No, it's
No.
And that was a one and done film.
yeah. The only way I would recommend this is if somebody hasn't seen it and they're looking for something, but they're also somebody who's easily scared.
Yeah.
You know, this wasn't going to scare someone who's been watching horror like religiously for a long time. It was really a movie that you're going to sit there and just be like, oh, you know what? you could kind of put this on as a date movie if you're in college still.
Yeah. Or even
Like high school, college. Outside of that, it's not going to be that like real major force. So overall, I would say our consensus is it's a one and done, not really a recommend.
Not a recommend if you have nothing else to do and you have nothing. Like if it's one of those nights where you're just channel surfing and nothing is on and you just want something on, put it on. It's not a horrible film. It's not a good film. It falls in the middle.
Yeah, it's a middle of the road.
It's a middle of the road film. Take it for what it is. If you want a cheap scare, watch it.
If you've got a girlfriend or a boyfriend who's easily like freaks out with the jump scares,
watch it and laugh your ass off when they pee themselves.
Just make sure you put something.
Just make
down.
sure you put the wee-wee pads down.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. We had a couple of good movies. I mean, Terror wasn't the best,
but it wasn't the worst.
No, but Spirit Halloween definitely
that was definitely watch that one.
Yeah, that one's one that we can recommend for pretty much the whole family, and any age. Because even as you get older, it's like you want to see something that's a little silly, can remind you of your childhood.
That's not Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, and. Once again, love Hocus Pocus. They
overkilled it.
Yeah.
We're not knocking it. It's just too much.
Yeah.
Any other film can't be Hocus Pocus.
Although I will say, Hocus Pocus 2 was definitely worth it.
I didn't see it.
Oh, it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one's definitely a recommend. And see it before they jack up the price of Disney Plus for you.
I don't pay for Disney Plus, so.
Yeah, we know. Trust me, we know.
I use Doug's.
And eventually, well,
I don't care.
yeah, eventually when Disney finally decides to start cracking down on everybody, we're all going to feel
like
it.
Netflix.
Well, right now he's using off my Wi-Fi, so I don't give a shit. I don't care. And you know what? If he says, "Okay, I'm done with Disney Plus," I really don't care. I won't miss it one way or the other.
Yeah. So now we're pretty much going to wrap things up on that note because there's, we paid our respects to James Earl Jones, and this man was a legend. And
one film that he did early on in his career that supposedly, excuse me, based on a true story, he played Barney Hill.
Okay.
From these two, it was like in the 50s, Betty and Barney Hill was supposedly abducted by aliens, and this was the first time.
Notice you would know it if it's involving aliens.
I'm trying to find my way back to my home planet. What do you want me to say? And, it was really... Yeah.
Say it, Jimmy. Say it.
Balky.
Going back to Planet Meepos?
Hey, even Marklin Baker said it, so fuck the both of you.
You can keep going back to that.
I will go back to that, because he said it, and he worked
Fine.
with it. There you go.
But you're still our Balky.
I got your belt.
Poochie, 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 poochie.
Anyway.
With the bibby and the babka, and the babka goes pop.
That is crazy. What is this, the Lagoons left?
All right. Well, before we go, though, Mike, you wanted to go and make a reference to a movie you just saw.
Yes, the 4:30 film.
Okay.
Kevin Smith's latest film,
4:30 movie?
The 4:30 movie. That's the name of it, not the time. It was a good film. It takes place in the 80s, and it's about a group of friends who go theater hopping. One of the guys has a date coming for the 4:30 movie of an R-rated film, but that she can't make it because she has to go eat with her parents. So they're going to go to the 7:30 film of the R-rated film. And... just everything in between when they go theater hopping is just hysterical because you're sitting back there. If you're a child of the 80s, you're like, I remember doing that with my friends. Getting tickets for one film and then sneaking into another film. Cameos galore, but it wasn't like over the top. He had about 4 trailers for films that you would see. The trailers are hysterical. A little disturbing, one of them is a nun who has to save an orphanage, so she started turning tricks. The nun is played by his daughter. And one of the guys she picked up is Jay Muse. So, yeah, a little disturbing on all accounts that he would let his daughter play a nun named Sister Sugarwall.
Now, seriously, you're kind of spoiling some things for people at this point.
A little bit, but it's a great film. Go watch it. They make references to stuff that's going on today. Like, they have a Bill Cosby reference. They have how, no one's ever going to sit through all the credits. Just maybe you'll see a scene at the end of the film. They make reference to that. At the end, they kind of hint at a Clerks 4, but we'll see what happens.
I highly doubt that'll happen.
They hinted at it, and just the way it ends.
You can hint at anything. Yeah. It just doesn't mean it's going to come true.
Right. But
we've been waiting for a Masters of the Universe Part 2 for how long?
Well, supposedly they're rebooting it. And supposedly, Evil Lynn is cast along with Skeletor.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And that's supposed to be Allison Brie playing Evil Lynn, which I'm actually excited about that news.
So am I. Yeah. I want to see it.
I love Allison Brie. She did a phenomenal job in the series Glow, which unfortunately got canceled on Netflix partly because of COVID. Being able to film like a show that has that kind of contact while they were trying to figure out all the parameters definitely didn't help matters. But and she was great in Community. Mm-hmm. So everything she's done so far I've seen, I've enjoyed. So it'll be interesting to see her taking on kind of a darker role.
Although I did like the way Lena Headey voiced Evelyn for the Master of the Universe.
And that's voicing.
Voicing it, but you can actually see her. If they casted her as Evelyn, I would not be disappointed.
Yeah, I would only be disappointed because I would still be looking for Meg Foster's eyes.
Yeah, those eyes.
Yeah, Meg Foster has these eyes that are just
piercing blue eyes.
Yeah,
holy shit!
You look at them and you do not forget.
No. Have you? But did you see her in the last time I saw her was the last Jeepers Creepers film?
No, the last thing I saw was what was it? It was the Rob Zombie movie. What was it? That one was like 4. I think it had like a number in the title.
I don't even know.
It was a bunch of crazies. It's Rob Zombie. What do you expect?
Of course.
But yeah, no, she was in there and she still looks amazing, and those eyes still like.
Well, then maybe they put a lot of makeup on her because I was like, oh, she did not age well.
Oh, she was never like larger in size, so she was very thin.
Now I'm not talking just like the face.
Well,
they wrinkled her up.
No, she was very gaunt, like all drawn in, because she was never like a larger person to begin with.
Yeah.
So she was always very thin. Mm-hmm. So it's only natural.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're suggesting to people to go to the theater and see the
4:30 movie. You will not.
Do not say the 4:30 film.
It's the 4:30 movie. I actually saw it at 4:30. So we saw it at 4:30. If only we saw it the 4:30 movie at 4:30 on 4:30 would have been perfect. But it wasn't out then. So, but definitely check it out. You will not be disappointed. It's a good Saturday afternoon flick. You got nothing to do. You go to the movies. Check it out.
All right. And with that being said, Jimmy, you want to give everybody your socials?
Mike, you want to go first?
He has to look them up, ladies and gentlemen. But if you want to find me on Facebook, you can follow me one of two ways. One, follow me, Michael Schiavo, on Facebook. Also, I will be posting links so you can vote daily. I'm in the Face of Horror contest. I made it to the 3rd round. I'm in 2nd place so far. If I win, I get to go down to Louisiana for the Rue Morgue photo shoot with Kane Hodder, and I get $13,000. I really need the money, so please vote for me. You can follow me on Instagram at Hamster Pellet Productions. You can follow the show on Instagram at the Dragoon's Lair Podcast. Also on Facebook at the Dragoon's Lair Podcast.
Is that all of them?
You can follow me on Hamster Pellet Productions, but I really haven't posted anything up there in a while. Your best bet, if you want to get in touch with me, it's either Dragoon's Lair Podcast on Instagram or Michael Schiavo on Facebook.
All right, now, Jimmy, are you ready?
Hello, everybody. You can reach me at Snapchat at JamesSI0925, all lowercase. You can reach me on Instagram and Threads, JamesH_4th. Reach me on Facebook, James Haynes IV. And TikTok, James0925. All right, and just on a positive note, a happy anniversary to all my We Are Family castmates. About a year ago today, I ventured down to tape all 10 episodes of We Are Family in Atlanta. Met a bunch of amazing people, and they all have podcasts. You can come catch me. I'll give you all their links and everything, and comedy shows, what they're doing, and who's going to be on what show and what shows they've been on. You can catch them on YouTube and even on their Facebook pages. So enjoy, folks.
And if you want to find me, it's real easy. It's Blue Dragoon 13 on TikTok, Instagram, Threads. You can find the link to our Discord page on the Twitch page, which is Blue Dragoon 13. Not very difficult. I made it very easy. You can find me on Snapchat, Blue Dragoon 13. I do not really post on there other than to advertise for the show, but if you want, go for it. You know, maybe eventually I'll post more on there. You can make sure you follow the show because we are on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and our home is Spotify, along with checking out the show on Blue Dragoon 13 YouTube channel. And make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, and do all the things, push the buttons and subscribe to us. Share it with your friends so that more people can enjoy. And they can also get some good reviews and ratings on recommendations for movies and shows to watch. And we will definitely be letting you guys know what we think of Agatha All Along on our next episode. And if you have any horror movie recommendations that you would like to see us do, please make sure you get them to us as soon as possible at Blue Dragoon 13. No, fuck you. Screwed you over, didn't I? I thought you were slick, Mike. It's dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com. All one word. dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com.
How many O's are in there?
There's 2 O's. That's right. 2 O's. Dragon with 2 O's. So Blue Dragoon.
I thought it was Dragoon,
13.
not Dragon.
Yes, but if you want to spell it and it's easy for people to remember, Dragon, add an extra O, and it becomes Dragoon.
There you go.
So it's dragoonslayerpodcast@gmail.com. Just remember that. Send us your recommendations and let us know if there's a horror movie you want us to check out. Please make sure that if you send us a recommendation, that it is available on a streaming platform, that we do not have to rent it.
Yes, please.
Because if we have to rent the movie, since we don't have sponsors and we're not getting paid, we're not renting anything, and we're paying for our streaming platforms, unlike Mike, ourselves, because he's relying on Doug.
Yep.
So thank you, Doug, for keeping Mike in the loop.
Does that mean Doug is technically a sponsor?
Well, he's your sponsor. Kind of like AA.
See, even my sponsor in AA, I shoot myself. I start drinking.
And
Sorry, Doug, love you.
And on that note, thank you all for tuning in. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Now get out.
Bye.